on the way. But yeah, like I was saying, some big moves starting to occur. Just a little more difficult to get in. Like I remember EU. I sent to you guys. I wanted to see price trade below here in order to move higher, right? But you can see we've grabbed all this liquidity from the left, which we anticipated, and then in order for us to keep moving into this high, these highs here, I wanted to see a run below here. Okay, because then we're trading within this higher time frame liquidity block, and then in here you can simply wait for a confirmation based entry, right? So anything like, right, we get that low swept, and maybe something like this, and then continue. Whatever it is, we just look for entries in this area down here. Unfortunately, nothing came about, right? We just simply just respected liquidity, okay, respected these lows, and continued higher. So EU was a complete write-off for me, at least. Like if you look Sunday, Monday, Tuesday we took off, right? There's no trading. Wednesday we're trading at the highs, like there's nothing. So like these are the days you just gotta chill. And if you have maybe another pair, look at your other pair. I do recommend sticking to, especially if you're in the learning phases, two on the high side. I don't really even want you guys to get into three pairs. That's more than enough, right? If you have to sit on your hands for 3 days, you got to sit on your hands for 3 days. You got to learn to be disciplined as well. Okay. But yeah, like I said, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you most likely just sitting out on EU. And then even with this big sell-off, I believe there wasn't really an entry, right? Yeah, there wasn't. Yeah. So we'll talk about why. Price runs this high, which is what we want to see. Okay. The problem is now, after running this high, we come lower to take out this low. Since we've taken out this low, I don't really like it no more because now essentially what we're doing is we're trading with retail. Okay. So don't try and force entries now. So there's a lot of people that probably saw this sell and they're probably like, oh, how can I get involved in this? And you can draw it out and force a million different setups. But staying true to the system means when we take out this low here, we don't want to be trading from these regions anymore. Okay. And don't get me wrong, it will respect and run the other way sometimes. And you can see in this example it did. And ask yourself why. Most likely because we've now left all of this for price to now run to. Okay. So it's all done on purpose. So if there's no sell here, that means usually there's going to be a buy entry into these highs because we've left liquidity there. But yeah, you can see we just, again, ended up respecting retail, respecting all these highs. We can draw this. Respecting all these highs. And then I believe Thursday, this wasn't CPI, this was PPI or something, right? No, core retail sales. Whatever it is. Push price all the way down. Okay. Hunting for lows here. Internal, I guess here. No, we actually didn't even take this. Was this a liquidity block? Yeah, it was actually. Respecting this liquidity block and then moving to the upside. So, as for taking anything from the extremes, I don't like anything to the left-hand side. Sure, this is a liquidity block, but nothing really tells me to just buy right here, right away. Okay, so entries-wise, only thing I can see is what we'll cover today is the buys that occurred today in New York. So I'll just grab this as a whole big area. We tapped into here. So I'm just grabbing this as like the bearish POI. Why do I grab this whole area? This is probably just like a fill on like a higher time frame, right? So if you look at the 4-hour, yeah, so it just taps into this POI 4-hour area, whatever it is, and then that's when they get that false reaction. Okay, so how can we get involved in this? Price takes out this high, okay, and then if you look right below, what have we now left? Perfect equals. Since people don't really know how to pair liquidity, people retail know how to pair liquidity. What they're going to do is they're going to think that taking out this high, this is their confirmation to continuously get into more buys. So this is areas that they're going to want to buy from. Okay, so for a half an hour, we stalled in this trap area, POI, and then trapped the buyers, mitigated. If you go on the hourly, I'm pretty sure it's even clear here. Yeah, so check this out. takes out the lows, mitigates liquidity block, and then moves higher. As for entries, let's see. Right when the liquidity is taken, what stops below to the high is a 1 to 3, and this is an entry just on H1, just below 1 to 3. Okay, and there's your 1 to 3 is right above the high. So if you want to wait for a little more refined, did the 15-minute get filled? Didn't get filled. So if you wanted to wait for somewhere in the imbalance, let's just say you waited for a couple of pips into the imbalance. There you go. You got like a 1 to 3 back to the high. Okay. Something you have to take into consideration is sometimes what happens is we'll take the lows, okay, and we'll continuously move to the upside. But then when we get to the high, we could get false reactions. Okay. So maybe what you can do is, oops. When we get to the high, so let's try and mark out where this is. Okay, so we'll mark out this whole trap area at the high here. One second, Archie. So when we approach this area up here, maybe what you can do is you can take some partials. Understanding that there could be false reactions from here. Okay, maybe running to clear some internal before wanting to go higher. So anticipate these kind of things. Because we've taken these lows out, okay, buyers are trapped, liquidity is taken in the market, and we've now respected that H1 liquidity block. That's why we had that reaction up to the upside. Okay, also tapping into these imbalances down here. Most important part, though, I want you to understand is what fueled this move. Buyers were here. We left equals here. As soon as we took out this high, these highs here, that induces buyers into the market. Again, thinking there's a confirmation, right? There's their confirmation for them. We've taken out the high. There's a BOS on the upside. So there's momentum to the upside, okay? And then you want to see price now below because buyers will be trapped now. There's that liquidity taken. Now that buyers are removed from the market, the buy should occur. And that's exactly what happened. We stabbed here, 1045, and then expansion to the upside. Clean move because we didn't even need to respect the high. We just ran right for it. Archie, does that answer your question? Take it step by step. Just because there's liquidity below doesn't mean that we're always going to run. These are just going to be left for the future. So you got to take it step by step. We need to see that trap occur, and that's exactly what happens here. Okay? Price, this low, respects this low, and moves away and prints new high here. Buyers induced, left liquidity at the lows, imbalance here, liquidity block. Yeah, waiting for confirmation. Unfortunately, there was no confirmation really. Wait, you know what? Let me just check. I didn't really look on the M1, I don't believe yet. So let me check this out. Yeah, tough one. Nope, no entry. I talk about this sometimes with people, and like all it takes sometimes, guys, is you want the direction. The direction is the most important part, and a lot of people, they get really stuck on trying to find like the pinpoint perfect entry. But remember something: the perfect entry is not the reason why you're going to be making profits. The reason you're going to be making profits is if your direction is correct. So, if you're so confident on your direction, let's say we stab below this liquidity. Okay, we tap into an imbalance on the left-hand side, mitigation, the H1 liquidity block that we marked out. And then you get like a couple candle closures, let's just say 2 bullish candle closures, confirming maybe that this is going to be that liquidity grab. And then let's just say you take it after the 1 minute closes and there's a rejection, but still keep your stop loss below here. So like these are things that maybe you can test out on your own. Remember one thing though, and everyone forgets, is direction is the most important part. You don't need to have the most perfect entry to be making really good money. Okay. If your direction's on point most of the time, you'll make a killing. You don't need to always wait for the most perfect entry. That's something that took actually a while for me to digest, because when I was building the system especially, I always wanted to have the most, not perfect entry, but precision was something I always focused on. Don't get me wrong, precision is very important, especially when it comes to direction. But when it comes to entry, you don't need to be so pinpoint, if that makes sense to you guys. I took sales in you when I swept those highs. That's a risky one. As you can see, look to the left-hand side. All we're doing is trading within this massive bearish leg. Think about this for a second. This whole new sell-off sweeps liquidity from the left-hand side, right? What does this whole new sell-off do mentally to retail and stuff? people are going to think, oh my God, the momentum to the downside. Look at this massive imbalance. We have these POIs up here that we want price to tap into. Okay. Not only that is, since we've reacted off this POI, look, they get BOS to the downside. We cleared these lows. So that tells retail BOS. They're going to be selling from where again? Up here. Right? They want to sell. This is their next POI to sell from. And they want to see price tap into it and sell. So if people are selling at this area, where's the liquidity? Here and here. Make sense? Poor sell, but it's okay. You're learning. Perfect. Yeah, but EU ends up being clean. Again, lower time frame confirmation wise, difficult. Other than that, directionally speaking, perfect. Cool. We'll stay on EU for a second. As for what I think it's going to do now, let's see what the weekly candle is looking like now after this week. Did we take out this guy yet? Okay, we have. We took out this weekly high. We're trading within this whole weekly wick right now. I do believe this is going to be the next destination, you could say. Oops. Okay, build up the liquidity, trap move down. Okay, now we're trading back into that liquidity that we left all on purpose. Okay, so that should be the next area we're looking for. We'll analyze what price does after that. Okay, who knows? Maybe you get something wild like this, right? We take these highs, we've left all these lows. Okay, and we get a big sell-off to these lows. But we play it day by day for now. We'll see what happens. As of right now, if you are in buys down here, I do like these highs. Okay, and that is the current setup. That's the current destination per se that we're looking for price to reach. And then we'll analyze and see what's going on after that. Now, don't ask me and say, after we take these highs, are we going to expect to sell off down these lows? We'll see what price gives us. Okay, I'm not a fortune teller. We react. GU. Not gonna lie, been moving pretty clean. We'll go dive into the price action that we got. What was it, Wednesday? My trade on Wednesday. We'll go look. So same kind of idea with what we're seeing with EU right now, right? Big sell-off down, one big candle to the downside, sweeping internal here. Okay, you can only imagine how many people are interested in selling when we arrive back to these highs. Okay, what I like to see is price respect the high to engineer liquidity, which we do here. We respect the high, and then we move away. Where do we move away to? Pretty sure I haven't made this case study, but we'll cover. We move away and run through the internal. Okay, why do I grab this low? Price takes out this high, printing a new high, returns back to this area, moves away, and then taking out this high, price sells off, respects the lows again, and continues to move away, printing a new high. And then we get that false sell-off, okay, from A to B. What was the purpose of that sell-off? The purpose of it was to clear the buyers. Okay, now that the buyers are shaken out, what happens? The move occurs. Boom. Just like we were, same kind of situation that we're seeing on EU right now. Okay, how can we get involved in this? Liquidity block down below, like we always talk about. A couple different ways is you buy as soon as the liquidity is taken. So your entry would be like this, stop below. Unfortunate part is I don't know if you can grab that 1 to 3 if you did this. Yeah, you can't. So you'd have to wait for it to come a little bit deeper. Okay, maybe like that. And target's going to be where we, it's simply going to be the liquidity. Where did this high respect? Look to the left. I marked it already. We're going to be targeting this guy. Okay, simple stuff. Drag this all the way over. And coincidence, we take that high. Liquidity is now taken. Look what we have right above. Same concept, just on the sell side now. Liquidity block, liquidity taken. So if you were cheeky, I think someone did take this. This could have been a sell. Okay, and what can you target? Let's open it in the 1 minute and see what's going on here. Look at this. Simple stuff. Just grab this low. You can see that on the lower time frames. Look how we took the high. return back, respected low, moved away. Simple intraday target right there. And just like this one, almost a 1 to 3. Let's see. Oh, our stop's way too big. My bad. So that's even with breathing. 1 to 4 back down. I believe it ends up running for it too. If I remember correctly. Respects the low here for a bit. There you go. Done. But same concept, right? Look how we can buy at this liquidity point. Yeah, I will. Again, same thing here. You can buy at the liquidity point. Unfortunately, the RR didn't make sense. So you have to wait for it to come a little bit deeper. Same concept here. You buy or sell when the liquidity is taken. Stop above the liquidity block. We'll watch for you later, but have a nice day, guys. Yeah, take it easy, brother. Okay, what am I covering? Could you also go over the London PA? We basically did, right? This is London PA. New York. What is it I'm going over? All of this, I just went over the whole setup. That was basically London and New York. Where did you take along? You're trading with structure. Look. Yeah, you're trading with structure. What is... That's a trap. Just like I said in the Da Vinci video, is literally just you want to wait for a liquidity block to form first. Step 1, liquidity block formed. Okay. Step 2, build up occurs. Okay. Engineered liquidity on the other side of the market. Build up gets taken. You make sure you have that liquidity block there. There's your buy entry into the highs.
Yeah, bro. I think I just, I just thought that this was a liquidity block, and we
I
had
know,
an
I know what
inducement
you saw, but
low.
I want you to make sure you can see what I see, right? So we took out this high. So
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
we can't buy here now. You want to see that
Right,
taken
right.
because then there's that liquidity block form.
Yeah. Like after I took that loss, then I was in New York. I saw all of this getting built up and this liquidity, but then the psychology was already, gone. So and I thought that it could go lower and then maybe clear the whole thing and then go up.
Yeah.
Because I was eyeing those daily inducement highs since the whole week, and I tried to buy every setup on GU, but I was not able to get into this. But yeah, it's fine.
It's all good as long as you can see where you went wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't be buying there. You want to see that step 1 is that liquidity block form. Yeah, that was GU. Again, then that sell ends up happening, which ended up being quite nice, right? Look how we get the sellers trapped here. Anywhere there's entry and multiple targets there, maybe down here. I don't know if it ends up reaching there. Let's check it out. And this is also, was this CPI day? Yes, this is post CPI. Cool. Okay. Let's see what GU ends up doing the rest of the week. Okay. Okay, so simple things again, just to go over this. All this price action so squeezed up on the H1 right now. So 15-minute. So everyone always asks me, like, how do you know what time frame to go to? Just open, drop a time frame down. Okay, when everything's squeezed up, just open that price up. Okay, so we took out this high. That tells me buyers induced. We do not want to be buying below what, or sorry, above what, this low. And price purposely respects that low. Now don't get confused when this happens. This all happened. Why? Because there was news Thursday, 8:30, 30 minutes into New York. So we respected these lows to build liquidity just for news to drive into. So if you were trading Wednesday, this is why sometimes I say be careful the days before, or even like, let's say there's news in New York and you're trading in London. You want to be careful because these wonky things can happen. Because look how we've taken this high out, and then price respects the low. Okay, like just completely respects retail down here and goes long, but it's all done on purpose. Okay, because then 8:30 at New York the next day, news drives through these lows. Okay, but yeah, so news ends up taking out this high again, inducing more buyers into the market, leaving these lows over here. If you look to the left-hand side, I believe, yeah, this was nice. So I'll go into the H1 here. I was looking at price below here, and I wanted to see a lower time frame. But looking back, I screwed up a bit because you could have actually just taken this buy here as soon as the low got swept. Stop loss below liquidity block, okay, and even back to the high was a 1 to 3, which is pretty clean. Okay, to the highest to the left hand side is a couple more pips, 1 to 3.5 ish, give or take, whatever it is. But yeah, still ends up being pretty clean. Trap moved down from news. You take the entry once the liquidity is taken to the left. Here you got your liquidity block. The confirmation on the H1 was nice, right? Spiked below previous candle, ran away, leaving us inducement low. That was your entry point right there. This started that imbalance essentially. This wick is just a low on a lower time frame, okay? And then again, targeting these highs. Ends up running a lot higher to target more stuff on the left-hand side, which was nice. But yeah, looking back, I was like, wow, I didn't really put my buy tool on to look at the RR. I wanted to see confirmation below. But yeah, news drove it down and then just swallowed the move right back up, which was nice. Grab that liquidity, trap the buyers. Now that the buyers are shaken out, we get that move all the way back up to the upside, targeting all the equals that we left. And then today, yeah, we just continued to move to the upside, right? If you look on the 4-hour, look, ends up driving below previous 4-hour low and then runs right back to 4-hour high. See what it looks like on the lower time frames. So 4-hour low taken out, and then ends up running all the way back to the 4-hour high. These kind of trades are just a little more difficult because it's just continuations in lower time frame. Yeah, you could say it's nice in the lower time frames, but then again, like I was just saying, I can see what you're talking about. You have buyers induced, buyers trapped, and liquidity block below. So you take the entry here. But the thing is, you're trading above all these highs now. It's just low probability. This is when you just have to wait for the higher time frames to just stop rocketing, right? Make sure the higher time frames finds its top and then prints more data on the lower time frames, and then you just trade accordingly. There's no reason to be taking trades like this. Look at the difference between forcing an entry here and then taking this kind of entry. How much lower this is. We've left liquidity at the highs. This one, we're trading above the highs. Low probability. Who's to say it just sells off to here? They can't, like, you don't know. So when we're trading above highs like that, it's just low probability. But yeah, ends up moving to the upside. This is just untradeable stuff right now. Bro, do you think we had a valid continuation set up 10 a.m. on GU today? I was just literally just talking about why I didn't want to be trading GU, bro. We're trading above all the highs now, right? So yeah, like I said, it can play out, but it's just low probability. We're at such a high point right now, trading above these highs. Just let price settle. Everybody's so keen on catching every move. Like go like look at the 4-hour. 4 hours is going up and up and up. These are like wait for the higher time frames to settle. Like look at the price action here that you could trade opposed to this right now. Just wait, let the higher time frames find its top, print more data, let liquidity build again on the higher time frame, because right now there's nothing, right? We're just moving to the upside. So if you're not in the buy from down here or like somewhere in here, you should not be looking for buys. Just because everyone's so, I don't know what it is. Everybody's so keen on like when a move occurs, everybody's like, oh my God, how can I get in that move that just happened? Just stay true to the system. Because as soon as you try and pinpoint every like sort of move to get into, you're simply just gonna confuse yourself. As soon as this high was taken, this buy setup is finished now. Okay. I wanted to look at. I wasn't looking at this pair, but Elijah, if you're still in here, this guy took a sick trade on AU today. Very, very clean. Okay, so step one. Oops. Same thing as usual. From here, we move higher, taking out, I think we even take out this high here. Price returns back to this low and moves away. Okay, and look how we can start leaving internal lows on the way up as well. But the most important part is we've respected this low to the left-hand side and then move to the upside, telling me what? There's liquidity here. So step one, like we always talk about, is we want to see that liquidity taken and then see that liquidity block form. So we create that liquidity block when we run that liquidity. The important part behind this is now we have a setup in our hands. Since we've taken out these lows, left equals up here. Let me draw a line. There's now direction in our hands, in our favor. We know how to analyze this now. Okay, taking the lows, we want to see price back at the highs. As we know, before we approach, or when we approach the highs, we can expect false moves. Look what happened here, A to B. So these things can happen when we approach these highs. Why? Because it's simply just building liquidity for us. How can we get involved in this now? Okay, so as we approach the highs up here, yes, we've left equals, but you have to understand, since sellers are induced in the market because we've taken out these lows, these are going to be areas that they're going to be taking entries from. You can expect false reactions, and it's just going to be more opportunities to buy. Okay, so Thursday takes out this structural point, and then we get that sell-off to the downside. Okay, run for, what is it? Some sort of internal liquidity here. And then we go long. Okay, taking out this high. Now, this is when you have to understand something. We've taken out this high, so I won't be just buying down here. We'll mark it like this. I won't be buying down here because now you're just trading with retail. So what I want to see is the same thing occur. I want to see that trap occur. Now, if you guys can see it, look at this price action here. We return back to the highs again, where sellers are interested in selling from. Okay, if you go to the 5-minute, open this price action up a little bit. Okay, the market prints this high, sells off, prints this low, and then we go long. Let's mark this out. We take out that previous high, printing a new high. Now we have a possible trap. We want to see price below this low, okay? Because after that low is taken out, buyers are trapped in the market, okay? And we have a gorgeous target ahead of us. So, honestly, we can just stay on. We'll go on the 1 minute. I don't really like doing it, but we'll go on the 1 minute anyways to open this up a little bit more. Here's our target. I'll drag this over. Analyze price as we go down. So we print this low in the market. Now we're approaching this one to the left-hand side. We respect it, move away. Yeah, good shit. This is a clean trade. So we respect the low, we move away, we sell off back down to the low, and then we get a move up. Respect order flow, right? Since we've taken out this low, all these areas are going to be traps. All this is traps, trap. We respect it, sell off again, no problem. Now we're just building liquidity here. Take out the low. Then we get a move, a rapid move up. Retail sees this as BOS. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Here is a trap. Okay. And then we get what? A sell-off following it. The important part about this is we take out this low now. Buyers are trapped. Okay. Go back to, actually, no, we're just doing five right here. But buyers are now trapped. Because we've taken out this high, buyers induced in the market. This whole area, this is all done on purpose. We get false reactions up, okay? And then we sell off to clear that liquidity. Perfect. Now, this is when people are going to be like, oh my God, but we had a BOS to the upside. Watch this. So, price prints this low, runs to the upside, takes out this high, okay? This is irrelevant, not irrelevant, but understand the importance behind this. Since we've taken out this low, what are all these areas going to
Bırakalım
be?
mı?
That we
Dolaşalım
have
mı hani?
this area up here.
Dayı sağlamışsın da.
If we get reactions out of these areas, they're going to be what? A trap. Okay? And a trap and also an opportunity to buy into. So yes, we've taken out this high, but this isn't a BOS for buyers. Okay? Since we've taken out this is where areas that sellers are looking to sell from here, in here, in here, thinking that we're just going to get a continuation here, taking out maybe this is their relative equals, whatever they want to call them, and then they'd see a continuation down the downside. But no, they don't understand that buyers are trapped here. Okay, this is not a BOS for them. This is a run on liquidity. Buyers are now trapped, and we want to see moves up into here. Not only here, don't forget the left-hand side, these highs that we've now left. Okay, how can we get involved? Same thing happens. Look, price approaches this low here. I'll mark it out. We go bullish a bit, take out this high. Another trap is occurring.
Antal Beroatırı.
People are going to be buying there, thinking that this is a bullish POI. They get their BOS to the upside. We want to see price below this low now. Okay, you can get a little more intricate and mark out this one, which it ends up taking out as well. But I wouldn't have done that. I would have just marked out this low where we reacted from, buy here, and I'm tucking my stop loss below the whole liquidity block down here. Oops. Just like that. I don't need the most pinpoint perfect entry because look at this. Directions on point, a clean 1 to 4. That's 4K and 100K account,
Magazinde sapsaldın abi.
or however much you like to risk. This is a clean 4R. You don't need the most perfect entry all the time. Like I said, you could have grabbed this low, sure. No problem. It ends up working too. Why does it work? Price takes out this high, returns back to the extreme, respects this area, and then moves away. So this ends up being the actual true bottom liquidity point. So you could have used this low or you could have used this low. Both was fine. You would have got just a higher RR, can't speak English, with this one down here. Okay, just like that. But yeah, props to Elijah. This was a clean ass trade. Anybody have questions with this one? Nothing? Oh, that's good. Appreciate it, but of course, bro. Killed it. This is textbook stuff. Clear as blue sky, that's what I like to hear. I like that. Oops. Anything else? Gold is just on a hot one right now. We are trading at all-time highs again, boys. So don't be afraid to just chill on gold now for a bit. NOS, let's check this. NOS out. But yeah, we're trading all-time highs on gold right now. Like, just if you are looking at gold actively, my opinion, just chill for a bit because we're at all-time highs. Just let price develop again, and then we can trade on more of an intraday perspective right now. Let's go check out these NOS longs that this guy caught. This guy's catching everything, futures and FX. Okay, so we're just trading at this high. Going to 1 hour. Build up here. All right, guys, look at this. You can see it's hard to see on the 1 hour, but if I go on the 15, this is just going to be a bunch of like order flow, a whole channel going up. All this is just a whole build up to the upside. Then we induce higher, respect the high to the left, and we get a false sell-off from A to B. Okay, what was the purpose of that sell-off? To clear all this internal. All that ends up coming all the way for, let's see on the 1 hour if we can open this up a bit. Yeah, it comes for this imbalance down here. Okay, let's see how we could have gotten in this. Stock open here. In my opinion, I would not be trading before that. That's just too scary for me. I think maybe you guys did take. No, you didn't. Did you? Oh no. So I'm guessing if did you take it on this? Liquidity,
Saçma
or sorry,
saçma.
engineered liquidity block. Oops.
Diyorsun
Liquidity
para
block.
nedir?
Is this an entry token? Yeah, makes sense to me. It's good. Happened at 9:45. Are you talking about the entry here? Oops, this is a text box. This is a liquidity block. This is a liquidity block. Yeah, any of those are fine. Entries exactly stock open. Yeah, that's not bad. You could have taken it from. Let's actually use lines because this paint tool does not like to work. Look, low's taken here, so boom, and stop below the liquidity block at the low, or this one here, and stop below again, liquidity block low here, right? Yeah, and targets wise, let's be realistic with this. I would have definitely probably partial something here.
Ne oldu?
Yeah, this I'm not gonna lie, it would have been a pain in the ass because respected engineered liquidity and had a deep ass pullback, but you just gotta trust your analysis. But yeah, ends up being clean. Internal liquidity point there, and then on top of that you have that high. Maybe we're gonna dig from the left. Okay, more internal relative equals left here. So maybe take a little bit off there as well. But yeah, ends up being super clean. Good shit, boys. I like it. I like it. Gold tough. EU ends up being quite clean today, like we were talking about. GU, it's just on the moon like gold right now. I'm an AU ends up being clean as well. So a little bit of opportunity to end the week. Like I said, on EU, you would have to stay impatient because Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or sorry, Thursday you had something, but most of the week we're chilling. Right? You get shitty price action sometimes. It is what it is. Some weeks there's 15 entries. Some weeks there's a handful across a couple pairs. So it's all about being able to preserve that capital when conditions aren't too pretty. But yeah, anyone have any questions? Let me know. No, sir. I wanted to take this, but I was at the gym. I left early today. EU ends up being pretty nice, to be honest. The target was it's just super obvious in my opinion. As soon as these lows were taken, I liked it. The entry, like this isn't my favorite type of extreme entry as well. We did have some sort of a liquidity block, but at the end of the day, like it sort of respects retail here. So this paint tool, I don't know what if it's. I don't know if it's my mouse or. So we respect retail right here. So it's not like the cleanest liquidity block to take it off of. You go on the 1 hour, it looks like it is, which maybe could have given you the confidence to take it, but yeah, like you can see here, it looked quite clean. Here, H1. Boom. Boom. And stop loss below. So, but no. All good. Any other questions, guys, before we sign off for the weekend? Oh yeah, I mentioned in the Discord, I have an idea of a new series I want to record. My weekend is actually slammed, but I think I do have time tomorrow morning. So I want to see if I can try and record the first episode. But yeah, it should be good. It's about it's like training your eyes more to see the concepts without drawings on the chart. So it should be good. In terms of high probability subs, would you say we should focus on current PA?
14'tükü max çıkış.
It's all relative, brother, right? Like
15'teki
when I say to you guys like
bular жаңы çıktı
just
bu
let
15'te.
PA settle down, like
Başkaça
for
oldu,
example
fazla
GU,
da
like
kayıpsı oldu.
we're just currently
We're
we're just flying to the upside right now. So just let price develop again here. Just we need price action, right? Because how do we build a bias? How do we build a direction? With liquidity. And if I don't see any liquidity right now, how am I going to build a bias or direction? So, and like when you say like the 15-minute or 1 hour, there's no defined time frame. Exactly, yeah. AU was a way better opportunity rather than well, no, EU was pretty good too, but rather than like GU would be your example. Yeah, like look at GU today compared to AU, which we were trading in here, and EU, which was in here.
15'ler жақсы, 16 жақсы deyishadi.
It's just way easier, right? There's more data to go off of. We're not just trading above highs or trading below lows on the higher time frame too, especially.
İşte dedik de.
Yeah, I think okay. If you guys are all good, I've covered everything I wanted to cover. We can wrap it up here. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get this episode recorded tomorrow. I will definitely I will update the Discord when I do. So just keep an eye on your Discord. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend. And yeah, I will see you back on Monday.
Doğrudaş mı?
Alrighty?
Değil la. Öşürü koy.
Of course, guys.
Oturun
Good,
mu?
good stuff. Good stuff. I will see you all back on the Discord Monday. Hope you have an awesome weekend. And yeah, thank you. No worries, guys. Take it easy.
Dikkat de.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ha yemin ederim o da dastapka başladı yine. Hakem ne foto hakem dost? Ne tot maçlar dost? Ağaç taksi kalıp öyle.